I think ingredients are most important because the end product is just a sum of what you put into it. And so if you start out with crummy stuff, then your food's going to be not as good. Whereas if you start with some of the wonderful bounty we have around here with fresh orchards and natural raised beef from the local ranchers, it's also part of the process. Sourcing ingredients or finding ingredients, especially stuff that's hard to find, to me is part of the fun of putting together a meal. Back when I kind of was first learning to cook, my mom went back to school to get her bachelor's degree, and so she was busy at work all day and school in the evening, so I actually cooked the meals and cooked dinner throughout like junior high and high school. So I've been cooking dinner for the family for quite a while. Residency put the brakes on that somewhat, and my wife learned to cook. When we first started cooking together, I offered a lot of direction, and I'm learning to do that less, and it makes it more fun for both of us. But over the last few years, it's definitely become something we enjoy doing, and cooking a meal together and having friends over to enjoy it and socializing in that way. I would consider myself a foodie. I think everything has its extremes, but I'm at the upper end. Yeah, it's like a cooking nerd, and I guess I am a nerd, and I'm okay with that. Many of my early experiences in medicine are probably from high school. Things like the fire cadets here in the Dalles, where we would ride along in the ambulances and respond to fires and hang out with the firefighters in that respect. By seeing my mom work at the women's clinic here in the Dalles. And then the last big experience was a mentorship in the operating room in high school, where I went up every morning for an hour and being part of the OR team and watching what surgery was and what it meant, and that really opened my eyes up to it. I was only typically supposed to spend an hour and a half at the hospital, but one day there was a case where a patient had an aneurysm, which is a swelling or a dilation of the main artery, the aorta, going down to the legs. And so the general surgeons were going to take the patient to the operating room and remove the patient's aorta effectively and put in a new one. That surgery was going to take all day, so I got on the phone and called my teacher and said, hey, can I just stay all day? That experience in high school was amazing, to see that huge surgery being done in the Dalles and how well it was done, and knowing that the patient actually did very well just reminded me of the quality of care that you can get even in a small town like the Dalles, and made me proud to come back to the Dalles. I'm Mark McAllister, and I'm a urologist.